What's up, everybody? Kamish here, bringing you a week 9 video. Awful late in the week. Been busy, tis life. But here's your video. Here we go. Always a lot of stuff to talk about. Dope week. I thought it was a really good week in the NFL. A lot of stuff went on. Really good week in the EDL. A lot of cool things happened in our week, too. Um, week 9, as it is, a lot of our teams are where we are. In the NFL, you see like a lot of teams have established themselves as the dope teams, or the really good teams, the really bad teams. But it's always a great time right now, especially in fantasy football. We are in what you call the stretch of the season, right there before the playoffs end. There's always going to be teams that get really hot right now that you wouldn't expect, and teams that have been really good all season fall. So this is the stretch. Anything can happen. I would not be surprised to see any sort of shakeup go on in the standings. So we're sneaking up on the playoffs real fast. Um, Real quick, we'll talk about just jumping at a little house cleaning. Uh, Speaking of sneaking up on, we got the trade deadline here in a couple days. Had the countdown all season long on top of the screen. It's for midnight on Monday, so here in a couple days, Monday at midnight after the Monday night football game. All trades need to be done at that time for the whole season. Won't be able to do another trade for little whiles until the off season. So yeah, make sure you get those trades in. Trade deadline, and then after here in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, we'll have an updated penalty or price on how much you owe for trades. But yeah, and then we had expansion talks, another house cleaning, a ton of expansion talks. Love the talks. Not much to say on here. Um, Brett and I took literally talked about everything everyone brought up, took everything into consideration. We might have one. I've come up with a shorter video of more redefined what we're going for and what information we gathered from you guys on expansion, and maybe give a one more shorter video and hopefully get a yay from everyone for it. So we'll get that taken care of maybe this week coming up. But yeah, not much to say on here about expansion. If you guys want to talk some more, feel free. Um, Football, this week we saw some huge games. Nick Foles, of all quarterbacks, went nuts through 7 touchdown passes. Pete had him on the squad. He's still on Pete's taxi squad, actually, so doesn't even have a contract-free guy throwing 7 touchdown passes in the EDL. Um, yeah, that's crazy. But he had a huge game. He ended up number 2 on our overall list, right below Peyton Manning. He dropped 59.4, I do believe, and for number 2. Um, we also saw a huge game from Andre the Giant. Andre Johnson had caught 3 touchdown passes, I think, had 49 points, number 7 on the list. So Andre's a big name guy for Dan. So Dano actually got to start him. He wasn't on taxi squad, but Dan's gotten in starting role. He's had the 2 Johnsons past 2 weeks on the top 10 squad, so Dan's receivers are making some noise. Um, Big game there. We also had, between myself, Dan, talk a little high points action. We were battling at it. Came down to Monday. I had Brandon Marshall. He had Forte and Boykin just battling for high points. We both getting on the list for franchise records. So I thought it was pretty fun watching the Monday night game. But he ended up getting the better. He dropped 277. I dropped 275 for a respective 6 and 7 on the all-time list. So that was pretty good. I know Dan was watching it, battling it out for who was going to do better. But anyways, that was that. Good job, Dan. Uh, Last week, game of the week. Oh my goodness. Robbie. We'll talk about Robbie. Worst week ever. First off, Survivor. Robbie's done a Survivor. Good job, Robbie. But he did blow the Saints Jets call. I believe all of us would have probably blown that one. But so first, Robbie had that go against him. We saw Aaron Rodgers got hurt, so Robbie lost Aaron Rodgers. and also in his primetime spotlight, got the loss. Casey's team came up big. I've been talking about it all year long. Casey's team's been playing good. He's just been missing Tom Brady and Tom Brady. Tom Brady finally showed up, dropped a 40 spot. Dobson, a lot was to Dobson, who Casey had the starting roster this week, had 30. So big games, that helps a lot, especially on game time. So way to show up game time, make sure you had to starting roster. And so good job, Casey. Way to get the game of the week, W. Probably surprising to a lot of the guys, but good work. Game of the week, week 10, moving right along. I think it's a big one, big game of the week. We got Brett and Pete, little Barry and Frosters and Cuckoo. I just call him Cuckoo. Big showdown division matchup. First time they've matched up this whole year. I know both these guys like some trash talk. Let's see what else. Last year they met up obviously twice. Pete swept him. Closest Pete got a 55-point victory. It was the closest Brett came to him last year. This year, they're the only two teams not have any points. This is obviously on a Friday, so only two teams to not have anybody go on Thursday. So that's kind of cool. Both teams fresh going into Sunday. This year, it's kind of a tale of two teams, two different squads. Pete's got a high offense. He's got the number 2 offense in the EDL, but he also has the worst number 12 defense as far as defensive points have been scored. So there's Pete's team for you. And Brett has the 10th overall offense and offensive points, but he does have the number 1 defense and defensive scoring. So maybe a little Broncos-Chiefs matchup, if you will, if you'll go with me there. But yeah, big week. Week 9, loved it. We're in the thick of the action down the stretch. Sorry the video was a little late, but hopefully I'll give you the other one a little earlier. Hopefully we all get some wins this week. Even though we all can't. Hopefully not you, Dan. Sorry. It's your commish. Realist. League out there.